Alrighty, folk. It is time for the tack axe on the Hive Scum. This is maybe like, no, just hands down, this is the best class for the tack axe. This class is insane with this thing. It synergizes so perfectly with everything that the class does. Crits, just scaling your damage through killing multiple enemies, executing left and right, flailing around like an absolute lunatic. There are seldom any builds in this game where I have less idea of what's going on and am more effective than when I'm playing with the tack axe on the Hive Scum. So it's a ton of fun, which is to say that it hurts my eyes, but it does win games. And we are of course going Rampage. So if you're up for Rampage builds, then you're in the right place, and you should subscribe and help me reach Warhammer 40k subscribers. Yes. All right, let's get into things. Starting right here with the tack axe itself. No surprise here, but yeah, you want all the stats. They're really, really good. Mobility is the one you'll want to dump here, but just look at this. Marvel at this for a second. We can put Shred on this thing. That's 20% crit right there. The base crit on the class is 10%. Then the critical bonus is 12%. So we have 42% crit between just picking this class and picking this weapon. With this blessing. That's it. That's nuts. Am I doing that math right? Yeah, I am. That's crazy. We're gonna hit like almost 100% crit with this build, and that is very, very juicy indeed. Now we're gonna take Head Taker here. Strength is very nice. Like scaling your damage and then critting on top of that is very potent here. And as you saw, I've got Flak Armored here. Just allows us to one-shot, just chunk a million things. And then melee critical hit damage, as I said before, we're gonna hit nearly 100% crit. So this is just a 1.1x multiplier on everything that we do, más o menos. Okay, going from there. Oh, and by the way, use the Mark IV. The reason that we are using the Mark IV here instead of the Mark VII, the Mark VII is a great weapon, the other Mark that most people use. The Mark VII is a great weapon on most classes, but on this class, because this weapon can stack stupid damage by overkilling the shit out of enemies, we can actually use these uppercuts and overheads to more or less just insta-kill tons of relatively armored enemies. This attack, this overhead attack, and this uppercut attack have an additional 30% rending over any other heavy attacks on the other tack axe marks. That was something they added in the recent buffs to tack axes, but because this weapon has lower damage, lower base damage compared to the other ones, a lot of people avoid it, but this class can like just cheat that entirely, which is insane. So yeah, make certain you are using those heavy attacks on your armored targets. Okay, coming down here, Needle Pistol. As I've said many times before, best all-rounder weapon for melee builds because you can dodge infinitely. Dump stability here. Mobility is, stability literally does nothing. Mobility is very juicy because it allows you to be fast as fuck. This is one of the fastest moving weapons of the game. You have 0.89 additional movement speed, and with Strip Down in the blessings down there, which is really the only blessing that you really need to care about all that much, you can just run your ass all the way into combat or out of combat if things are looking hairy. Let's come down here to the talents, or sorry, the talent curios. We want 2 toughness and 1 stamina. Having a little bit extra stamina does go a long way here. That is 6% attack speed as well, so nothing to shake a stick at. And we grab additional combat ability regen, stamina regen, and toughness on all of them. What else is there to say? Pretty easy. Okay. Over here in the Stim Lab, since we have such a high crit chance already, let's make sure we're taking our juice. Don't want to not be juiced up. Since we have such a high crit chance already, we don't need any more crit, but that means that Finesse goes absolutely bonkers for this build. It multiplies both headshots and crits, so we get a ton of value out of that. Then here for the talents, we are going to go on the right side, Quick and Deadly, which does apply to our melee damage while we're at close range. Tertian Welcome, Precision Violence, Float like a butterfly. This is additional. So let's keep track of the crit, right, guys? Let's start counting right now. We are at 20, 32. The class itself is 10, so we're at 42. If we dodge, we're at 62%. Okay. Burst of energy here for some damage. We bring Boombringer because the one thing that could murder us here is just like the game spawning like infinity of these dudes, and we can just say goodbye. Good night, sweet princes. 2 princes. And then Gang Tough. Slippery Customer, Tis But a Scratch, Anarchist, 67% by the way. Toughness boost with the Rampage, Boiling Blood, and Pulverizing Strikes. This will give us all the cleave we'll need to carve through hordes. I mean, already we're carving through hordes. because we're using battering strikes here, which is going to just give us a stupid cleave. That's one of the things this weapon can struggle with sometimes is cleave, but this just alleviates that. Boiling Blood just makes us stay in this rampage forever. Over here on the left side, critical hit chance, 72%, sorry. Then Swift Endurance, that's an additional, the weapon has 1, and our curio and that, so that's an additional 14% attack speed. I will take that. And then Sweet Spot, weak spot damage is huge. Critical damage, finesse, right? This is a 25% multiplier on top of the other finesse things that we got going on. Hypercritical, which allows us to just cull a ton of targets. Oh, I forgot to take my drugs. Oh my gosh. I need one of those like things they have for like geriatrics, where it like reminds you to take your pills on time so you don't get your dementia. Okay, over here we've got punching above one's weight because we want to murder these things extra hard, and hyperviolence. This is where this weapon is just insane in the hands of this class, because every attack you do for 1 second after you get that execution kill with hyperviolence will apply that extra damage and then multiply it when you get the crit, which is just bonkers. As I said before, cleaving is very good. Coded weaponry, applying an extra stack of toxin on every strike pretty much is very, very powerful, because we are at 72% crit right now. And then we are going to come down here for blitz charges. That's an extra rocket, 4 rockets, yes. Sample collector, which gives us just more cooldown. This stim is so good, guys. This is basically like an extra ult. It is so strong. And then finally, we come down here for chemical dependency with this maxed out chems, which can give us not only 40% cooldown, so we're getting into our cool rampage that much faster, but 20% additional crit for a total of 92% crit chance. So all told, we end up doing something like this, where we can just start to insta-kill everything we glance at casually. And you're like, oh no, how would you deal with crushers? Oh, it's probably something like that, you know? You know, not too bad, I would say, in terms of damage. Yeah, pretty solid stuff. And of course, you know, that's like using your brain. You could just walk through hordes. If you're playing anything like Auric or lower, just walk through the game doing this. Easy win, right? Just chop everything to death, and you'll just win the game. So that's the build, guys. I love this build. Super cathartic. Something about the way that the little tiny tag. It's such a small, like, dainty little axe, but then you can just like hatchet and murder a guy who's like 12 feet tall in 2 strikes. It is very funny, and it makes me feel something deep inside I haven't felt in a long time. All right, I'm gonna go do some introspection. Have a good day, guys, and enjoy the gameplay clip.